and welcome. Hello. Welcome to our question and answer. So today our topic is injury management. So we're going to be chatting about ways in how we can recover from injuries, how we can prevent ourselves getting injuries, and what we can do for different types of injuries.
So how we can speed up some healing process.
Yeah, how we can speed up. So if you are injured, then how can we've got different tips, really cool things that are going to help you to recover really fast. So obviously doing martial arts, I've been injured quite a few times. Have you, Janine?
Same, yeah. And sometimes it's really silly injuries, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, it is, yeah. So, I mean, sometimes we have to ask ourselves, like, why you get injured in the first place. So there's lots of different reasons why that might happen. And can be anything really, can't it? From like, maybe you're not sleeping as well and your body's not sort of regenerating, or it could be stress, or maybe you're not eating the correct things, or can be lots of different things, lots of different reasons why. But we're gonna
maybe we
explore those.
We should start with, I know there's certain types of injuries, right? So you have like acute injuries and chronic injuries. So I think you need to make a distinction between those when we talk about injuries, because there are so many different types, and obviously we need to be a bit careful how you treat everything, and if you do need to go to a doctor and get some help. But sometimes, like a certain acute injuries or even chronic ones, you can kind of have a go at yourself.
So I think the main thing is to listen to your body, and we're going to explain a little bit about what an acute injury is and what a chronic injury is. So acute is something that's just recently happened, and usually it can be like, for an example, like I twisted my ankle.
I've done that loads of times.
I usually twist my ankle when I'm just about to go to China, which is just brilliant. Probably so excited to go, and then like what? But yeah, it's normally acute is just something that's recently occurred, and usually there can be some swelling with it, some inflammation, and there are different things that you can do to help that, just to help the swelling go down. And some people say, when I'm in the clinic treating people, they say, if I've got an acute injury, do I need to rest? Do I need to come off of it, or do I need to carry on training? So we stay tuned, because we're going to tell you exactly what you can do to help yourself get quicker recovery. So and do I ice it, or do I elevate it, warm it? So we're going to go through a few of those things as well, just to kind of help you to manage it. If obviously if it's a really serious injury, like you've broken your ankle or your leg, then you need to go to the doctor,
if it's
right?
broken, you have to go to the doctor.
And you will definitely feel the difference.
I've twisted my ankle before as well, and then usually you do kind of, first thing you do is you just kind of sit down for a bit. Look, what can you still move it? Is it how painful is it actually? Is it like super painful, or can you do a bit of walking out on it? But usually if it's like a minor injury, like twisting your ankle, you can kind of slowly go back in and fix it very quickly.
So that's kind of like an acute injury, but a chronic injury is something that's been ongoing over a long period of time. So you might have started off with an acute injury, and then you still have pain in that area, or it's still really niggly, and that's kind of ongoing, and that's kind of like more like a dull, achy type of feeling. Actually, with pain is quite a good indicator of what type of injury you have. And in Chinese medicine, different types of pain indicate different things. Like, for example, if the pain is just in one place and it feels really, really sharp, it normally indicates that there is cold inside the body. So using something like a heat pack will be really great. Or obviously, if it's swollen and red, there's inflammation. So you're going to use something cooling to bring the inflammation down, like ice or ice pack. Or there's some really great plasters out there, which I'm going to recommend in a minute that you can use. I've got like I have a little pack that I use for myself when I'm training.
My team's emergency pack.
Yeah, I take it to China.
Emergency first aid.
Yeah, I have like 3 products that I use that are just absolutely brilliant that you can use in any given situation. This is for an acute injury, for any acute injury situation. So shall I tell them or shall I? Do you want to know?
Well, maybe start with the first one. you can give them the first one now.
Oh, I'll give you the first one. So there's 3 of them. Okay, the first one is if this is more if I have like a muscle injury, like it's not too acute. It's probably I'm overtired and I pulled a muscle and I've probably maybe not eaten the correct amount of food or something like that, and then I've pulled a muscle. But it's not too bad. It's not like there's different grades of injuries, but it's just like a mild injury. Then I use something like red flower oil. That's really great.
I've used that before.
Yeah, it's really great.
Don't use it when you come out of a bath.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Basically, if you're going to start training, going back into training again, you can put a little bit of red flower oil on, and what will happen is it will heat the area as you're training, so it will feel quite hot, and that will prevent any further injury happening. It kind of heats the area. So that's really
I think
good.
sometimes I've seen people using that also. They have like a bit of a muscle ache, right?
Yeah.
And then they would you recommend to put it on before training?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can before
So
training.
I think people do this because they already have a bit of muscle ache from like their last training session. You put it on before you train, and then I think it helps you.
And your basically all your pores open, and you start to sweat, and then the red flower oil goes really deep into your body, and it can burn a little bit if you put too much on. So you need to be really careful when you're using it, and obviously if you've got any contraindications for using it, then
don't put it in your eyes or your face.
Then make sure you be careful when you use it. And there's 2 others that I really like to use. If I've immediately twisted my ankle or my wrist, then there is an amazing plaster out there. It's a herbal plaster called Jinsagao. And it's absolutely brilliant. If you've got a really acute injury and it's all swollen, it's all starting to swell up, it will help to bring the inflammation down. And it's a cooling plaster. And it's fantastic. So I always have that in my
That's quite good.
pack.
You know, I don't know if I've got weak ankle, but I used to like my feet twisted a lot. My ankles, feet, and kind of before actually what I've discovered to do before the exercise, actually just to make sure I extra warm up my joints.
That's really important.
Even if you do the exercise and you're already doing a warm up and you know you're going to jump or whatever, I always do it a bit more. So like kind of twist your ankles a bit more and kind of get your body conditioned to the exercise you're going to do.
Yeah, don't go into your training completely cold, so you really need to make sure you're stretching, and you should have a really good stretching routine, because stretching prevents injuries, so tearing muscles and tendons and things like that. So we've got a few other tips that will help you to prevent injury. So they probably seem quite obvious, but I think the main key one is nutrition. So to prevent injury, you need to make sure that you're eating really well, especially if you're training like athletes. So you should have a really good dietary plan planned out, sort of with a balanced diet of all of your essential vitamins, minerals, and protein, carbohydrate. You have it all balanced out. You're eating a varied diet and getting all those essential minerals and vitamins that you need for repair and strength of your muscles. So imagine you're training every day, you're going to be breaking down your muscles, and so you need to be able to rebuild that up. And I think the main food for repairing is protein. That's like your fish.
That's in fish, meat,
and
like
dairy, some dairy products. So I think what you need to understand is that everybody's body is completely different. So some people get injured for different reasons, and because the balance in their body is completely different as well. So where someone's been injured in some way, it might not be the same for somebody else. So somebody might be a little bit more blood deficient, whereas somebody else might be a little bit more stagnation, like the blood isn't moving very, very well, it's causing pain and obstruction. So you really need to listen to your own body and kind of work out where those imbalances are coming from.
And also, it's again, if it's happening again and again and again, like if you can see a pattern that certain things come up repetitively, you then can address those as well. Yeah.
So obviously we were saying that food is a really important key in injury and in recovery as well.
The second most important is, I'm sure you guessed this already, sleep.
Is your sleep, yes. Sleep. That's probably why I get injured all the time, is because I don't
You just
sleep
want
enough.
to sleep, you know? No, I think you want to sleep, isn't it?
I want to sleep, but I
Our
don't
body
get
wants
sleep.
to sleep.
So like we said before in the last talk, we were saying that this is from a Chinese medicine perspective, because that's all that I can really speak from that perspective.
I think it's in Western, it's the same, isn't it? You have to have your rest, your activity, your nutrition.
So it's really important that you get, I would say, if you are injured, then getting 8 to 10 hours sleep for your recovery.
Even a bit more, get a bit more sleep.
Get sleep. And you need to make sure that you're fully asleep between the hours of 1 and 3, because in Chinese medicine that is when the blood returns to the liver, and that's when the blood nourishes all of the organs and tendons and muscles and everything inside your body. So that's really important. And if you can get to bed before 11 o'clock, then that would be really fantastic.
Because that also means you could get up earlier and make more of your day.
Yeah, and that as well. You do more training.
Exactly.
So I think if you're going back to training and you have an injury, then obviously when you're in that acute stage of your injury, it is important to get rest, but I think it's equally as important not to just stop moving, because that can cause a lot of problems later on. So gentle exercise and just moving the joint or moving whatever's injured, just gently in a more rehabilitative fashion.
Just take it easy,
But don't completely stop, because that will cause a little bit of stagnation. And that's why I suppose, like, if you have things like massage, it's really good because it helps to move the blood, it helps to move the chi and your energy, and so it creates kind of a free flow of energy. It's the same if you're doing it for yourself as well, so you can massage the areas that are injured, and this is really good. And I forgot to tell you my
The third tip, yes.
The third liniment that I use. So sometimes when we do some conditioning, so if you're conditioning your body, you might get some bruises, or you might knock into things when you're doing, if you're hitting against other people, or this bone bruising is can be quite tricky. And in Chinese medicine, bruising is anything that's a purple colour or purple in nature on your body, like a bruise, is stagnation of blood. So other than massaging it to move the blood, which is quite painful, you can put on a really great liniment called zhongguo shui, and it's really good. It moves the blood in the body. So if you massage that onto any area that's bruised, then that's a really great one for helping to move the blood and move the stagnation in that local area. That's for like an acute injury. You can also use things like arnica as well, which are really great, which is more sort of Western.
Yeah, that's more what you get in your first aid kit as well.
Some arnica, that really works really well as well. So those are the 3 things that I have in my emergency kit. One of them is red flower oil, jinsegao cooling plaster, and zhongguo shui for bruising, and acupuncture needles. But
oh no, you can't
use those ones.
Don't use them if you don't know how.
Yeah, if you don't know how, then you can. But you can always go and see an acupuncturist. You can go and see them for acute injury, which is really good. Just to tell you something with the jungle shui, if you think that you've broken your bone, do not put it on broken bones because it sets the bone together. So you need to be really clear that your injury is not coming from a broken bone. You can't use it for that because obviously it moves and it heals very, very quickly. And if you've broken your bone, you don't want to heal it in the wrong position. That would be really
because then they have to re-break it. the doctor has to re-break it, and you have to go again.
So you can sometimes, like, the simple tips, like for example, the type of pain. Like, so if your pain is very like a dull ache, you know, it's like a chronic pain, then sometimes you need to look at underlying factors like in your energy, in your body. So you might need to address those things. Maybe sleep, food is not enough. You need to look at other ways in which you can nourish your body, and maybe get a little bit extra help, maybe from like a acupuncturist or herbalist or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. Is there anything coming in, Jack? Any questions? Any questions? No questions. Oh, interesting. So
maybe we can just enlighten the audience with what was your worst injury?
What was your worst injury? Oh my goodness.
Do you remember, or one of your worst injuries and how you dealt with it?
I've had a lot of injuries.
Was there one particular one that was?
I've been quite lucky actually. I haven't had any really bad injuries.
Actually.
I haven't had any like clean breaks. Most of them have been like tendon injuries, or you know, like a sprained ankle, like a really bad Achilles grade 3 or something like that. It's nothing that's like where the tendon's completely snapped. I have helped a lot of people in those situations, and they do. I tell you, they do recover really quickly, especially from bone break if you eat really well. You've got to really manage your food and your sleep, and you've got to obviously get a lot of vitamins like calcium and iron. You have to make sure you get all your vitamins A, B, C, D. You have to get all of these in your diet, and protein as well. That's really, really important. If you manage that with your injury, then you will recover a lot faster, and also it will prevent injuries in the future. And if you manage yourself on a daily basis, this will also prevent injury. So usually it's coming from something chronic underneath. You're thinking, why did I get injured in the first place? There's always a reason why you get injured, unless somebody just pushes you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, somebody saying, well, you know, you're doing sandow or something, and then someone will like throw you on the floor, and it's quite tricky.
That's something you sometimes can't prevent.
Yeah, but I usually found, like, if I've been to competition or I've done acupuncture at competition, if you treat it straight away as the injuries happen, then maybe it's only a day or 2 days, and then you can get back to training again. But if you don't manage it in the right way, or if you put ice on when you should put heat on, or heat ice, then sometimes you can make the problem a little bit worse. It takes a bit longer to heal. This is it.
So that's really, really 3 fantastic tips, some more minor tips, and I think it's
so if you've got any questions, and you'd like to know more about how to recover, or if you have any injuries and you'd like to send us some information, then just write to us or go onto our website, which is www.ukshaolintemple.com. You can chat to any of us there, and we can answer any of your questions.
And if you want to share your own tips and helps,
that would be really great.
That can be too.
Let us know.
So if you let us know how you recover, or what you use.
If you've got like a secret
weapon,
porridge, secret porridge that you take, secret weapon, then let us know, share with us, and let us know how you recover as well. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.